Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving into a pretty intense situation. The buzz around Trump and Pam Bondi facing pushback.
Indeed.
It's all about some internal bubbling revolt over the Epstein files.
Yeah, it's quite the twist, right? How a base once so loyal is now turning its back, or at least giving a hard time.
Exactly. It's like imagine having your most faithful supporters suddenly questioning your every move, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's happening with the MAGA base over how the Epstein files were handled.
So let me get this clear. This isn't just your regular political scuffle, it's a full blown revolt, with some influential voices like Jake LaHoot, Jeremy Peters, and Christopher O'Leary weighing in alongside Katie Tur, correct?
Correct. They've all contributed to the conversation, pointing out how both Trump and Bondi are under fire and that even their die-hard supporters are not buying the narrative anymore.
Really interesting. And what exactly is triggering this revolt? I mean, why is the handling of the Epstein files resonating so negatively with the base?
It's like the MAGA base expects a certain level of response, a sort of unwavering loyalty to a set of ideals. When the Epstein files came into play, it exposed some internal mishandling or even miscommunication within the administration, which they saw as a betrayal, causing quite a stir.
Yeah, I see. So there's this expectation clash. The base demands consistency and radical transparency, and when things don't line up, it creates, well, a sort of internal crisis.
Exactly. And it's like a pressure cooker situation where long-standing tensions are finally boiling over. The Epstein files issue didn't come out of nowhere. It hit a nerve among those who feel that nothing is ever done sufficiently for their causes.
That makes sense. And it seems there's also a narrative about legal and political maneuvering around how the files were released and handled.
Right. And there's this angle where the legal arguments around the files, especially how they relate to the actions of the Trump administration, have been dissected by the media. And let's be honest, it seems even some of the experts are baffled.
Really. But here's where I kind of wonder, can we really assert that the handling of the Epstein files is the single trigger here? Could it not also be a broader discontent with policy decisions or general trust issues within the base?
That's a valid critique. It's not like the Epstein files issue exists in isolation. It's intertwined with a larger narrative of resentment and disillusionment over, the entire political establishment. And in this case, even Trump's inner circle is not immune to that pressure.
Yep, that's a good point. So essentially, we're seeing an erosion of the brand loyalty that many political figures rely on, especially someone like Trump, who's built his whole image on being unyielding.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because it challenges the assumption that a loyal base will always follow blind allegiance. It seems that when policies or actions deviate from their expectations, even the most fervent supporters can turn critical.
Exactly. And isn't it somewhat ironic that the very supporters who once propelled this movement are now calling for accountability? It's almost like a fork in the road.
It is indeed. And think about it. It forces a political reckoning. It's almost like they're saying, we voted for a certain promise, and now,
Yeah, I get
we're
that.
not seeing it followed through.
Do you think this revolt could have further reaching implications for Trump's influence, especially given the potential fractures in his base?
I mean, it certainly could shake up the dynamics we've come to expect. For a long time, Trump's brand was synonymous with unwavering loyalty, but this episode might just be a turning point that emboldens more critics from within his own ranks.
That's a real possibility. It also brings to light how realpolitik works, where internal dissent can be just as damaging, if not more, than external opposition.
Right? And it's like every movement has its internal pressures. When fundamental issues like the Epstein files mishandling come to bear, it exposes fissures in the party's unity.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just a matter of policy, is it? It's about credibility and trust. I mean, when leadership comes under fire from those who once championed them, it's a serious challenge.
Exactly. And there's an interesting interplay here between legal scrutiny, political narratives, and the expectations of the electorate. In this case, MSNBC's coverage and the analytical approach by figures like LaHoot, Peters, and O'Leary emphasize that much of it is down to narrative and perception.
That's crucial indeed. But Wouldn't you say that sometimes the media might even exacerbate these internal conflicts by the way they frame the story?
Definitely, I mean, it's like the framing can sometimes make the divide seem even larger. Although in this scenario, it's clear there's a genuine disconnect. It's not just spin, it's reflective of underlying discontent.
It's a tough balancing act, isn't it? On one hand, you have the political leadership trying to manage public perception, and on the other, you have a loyal base that now demands tougher accountability.
Absolutely. And if you think about it, the Epstein file situation is just one chapter in a larger story about governance, loyalty, and the expectations of populist movements.
That's a layered perspective. It really is. And this episode might serve as a bellwether for how future scandals or contentious issues might affect not just public opinion, but also internal party dynamics.
Exactly. It's like a litmus test. When those closest to the power start to revolt, it signals that there's a need for robust introspection and perhaps even regeneration
Agreed,
of the
that could
political
lead to major
narrative.
shifts. In the end, isn't it all about trust? The way information is handled, the actions taken, and the transparency, or lack thereof, determines whether a base stays loyal or starts to revolt.
Absolutely. Trust is the currency in politics. And when that currency starts losing value, even the most iconic figures can find themselves fighting to regain it.
Yep, that's the takeaway. This whole situation really provides a fascinating insight into how deeply intertwined policy decisions, media narratives, and the emotional currents of a supportive base really are.
Right on. And while controversies like these might seem like just another headline, they're reflective of broader dynamics that could reshape future political landscapes.
Absolutely. Well, I think we've peeled back a few layers on this one today, and it certainly leaves plenty of questions for ongoing political discussions.
Totally. And it'll be interesting to see how Trump and his circle respond to this internal criticism moving
Exactly.
forward.
Thanks for this deep dive. It certainly gave us a lot to think about.
Thanks for joining the discussion. Till next time, keep questioning, keep analyzing.
Yep, see you next time.